Okay, this is Moriah Mercill. You know, Moriah, you've got 4 really good strokes. Your butterfly doing a really good job with your kick, doing a nice job kicking your butt up and going forward. I think you might be driving your head a little bit too much and your hands a little bit too far down when you kick. And you can see that. See how your hands drop down and they actually come back up? We want to get rid of that motion. And if we can get rid of that motion, I think we're really going to have something. Stroke just has a little too much up and down undulation right now. So when your hands go in, just set them in and then swing them around and get that pull under your body rather than dropping them in, sweeping them out, sweeping them back in, and then bringing them down. So we need to set our hands just outside of your shoulders and then do exactly what you're doing now where you're bringing them through. You just don't need to flip them wide and push yourself back up. Over the water, I mean, it looks really good. But on that breath, you tend to overdrive your head, and it's just too much. But very few people are good like you are at kicking your hips up and keeping your hips up. You're one of the few breaststrokers on the team that can transfer that skill to butterfly. So that looks really, really good. But again, we just need to fix the hands in terms of their placement in the water. And then with what you're doing on just that first motion, just set them in outside the shoulder and then bring them under your body. Don't flip them around back and forth. Now this is the stroke I'm most excited about seeing what you can do with. Your backstroke has gotten so much better. You've always been a good backstroker, but I think this could be a dynamite stroke for you. One thing we need to do is try to get your hands a little bit deeper. If you watch your swimming here, your hands are pretty shallow. When you pull through, as your hands pull kind of past your waist, they're real high on the water. In fact, it looks like you're pulling down a little bit of air with that right arm. That's something we want to try and fix. And we can fix it by rolling a little bit more. Now we'll be able to see this from the front, what I'm talking about with the depth of your hands. They're just real flat. Yeah, look at that right arm especially. It just skates. You can actually see it creates a wave on top of the water. That's not something we want. Over the water looks really good. Nice steady head position. Your body position is great. You're doing something that very few people on our team do. Again, you've got a weight coming off your head and another weight coming off your hips. That's what we want. If we can get that right hand a little bit deeper, and then just practice this stroke a little bit more. Maybe work on getting your hand as it starts to pull a little bit more perpendicular so you lead with your palm instead of your thumb. I think that would really help as well, but really solid. Okay, into the breaststroke here. The biggest thing is that we've got to try to get your body lined up as you extend out. You can see here as you throw your hands forward, look at your head. The top of your head, it looks like a little mountain. It never gets down. What we want to do is when you throw your hands forward, we want to have your head looking down and we want you to extend into a streamline. Right now, when you throw your hands forward, you're always looking up. And that's something we've got to get away from if we want to go a lot faster. When you keep your head up like that, look what it does to your hips. As you glide, it makes your hips sink. And the whole front of your body just starts slowing you down. It creates drag. So as you extend forward, think streamline, streamline, head down, streamline. And I think that'll really help. Again, you've got all the pieces here, but look at what happens. Reach forward, head up. Forward, head up. If you could just keep that down longer and let your hips ride up, I think you'd go a lot faster. Over the water, the timing looks good. Always moving forward. Don't really have a dead spot in the stroke, except for maybe when your hands are just starting to go out. But that's something that we can solve by just keeping that head down. And I think that'll help out a lot. That looks good. Maybe a little more speed on the hands out, but really smooth and solid. Okay, into the freestyle. Doing something kind of funky with your right hand. See it kind of waves out front with your fingertips. When you reach your hand forward, those fingertips should be down and they should stay down. It's on your right hand side. Let's see if we're doing it on your left. Your left looks pretty good, but look at that little wave. I've never seen that before. If we can fix that and get that elbow up a little bit higher, I think we're in a much better position. Well, let's take a look at your stroke from the front end here. Yeah, bringing it under your body looks really, really good. You can see that funny little grab with your right hand. That's wild. Over the water, you look at your left hand. You're putting it in thumb first. Actually, you're putting your right hand in thumb first as well. Our hand goes in. We want it to be, pretty flat. So fingertips are below your wrist, but as you extend forward, you don't want to have your hand tilted to your thumb or to your pinky. You want it to be pretty flat on its approach. If we can fix that a little bit, the pitch of your hand, I think the stroke will go faster as well. Nice job.